2-year-old son and 7-year-old daughter went to the Great Barrier Reef in 2016. My daughter could snorkel, and I still have memories of her humming to herself in the water while she was enchanted by the corals. My son was too young to swim. Sadly, that year turned out to be the first year of the mass bleachings of corals in the reef due to global warming. 30% of the reef died that year alone. And I realized my son might never see the reef. That's where my climate journey started. And as I started going down this path, I began to realize that climate change was not just a reality for me, but it was a reality for all of us across the world. Let's look at my favorite city, Mumbai. Large parts of the city are projected to be underwater by 2050. That's the Juhu Bandra waterfront, underwater. And that's the gateway of India, gone. And not only has climate change affected our cities and the way we live, but it has also affected us economically. Research shows that India's GDP was already a third lower than what it would have been due to climate change of the past 30 years. So is that all that there is? That we sit and mourn the loss of the world around us? No, definitely no. Climate change is a crisis unlike anything humanity has ever faced. But every crisis presents an opportunity. And this time, it's no different. In fact, if you look around yourself carefully, climate change has already started reorganizing huge parts of the world economy. For example, you probably already know that the largest car company is an electric vehicle company. But did you know that the largest energy companies are no longer oil companies, but renewable ones? That is the opportunity I want to open up your minds to today. To think of climate change as an opportunity, we'll need to change a lot. We'll need to change how we grow crops, how we create energy, how we get around, build buildings, and so much more. In fact, over the next 10 years, $35 trillion will get redeployed across the world economy because of climate change. And you know the last time I saw such an incredible scale of transformation happen? It was at the beginning of my career, 20 years ago, and it was the internet. And just as the internet created some of the largest, most successful companies the world has ever seen, so will this grand climate transition. But there's a major bottleneck. We need many more people in the climate economy. We urgently need accountants to measure carbon, software engineers to build a smart grid, electricians to install rooftop solar, and many more. In fact, the ILO estimates that the climate economy will need 100 million new jobs and skills this decade. Where are all these people going to come from? It was to answer this question that I created Terra.do. Terra.do is an online school that aims to transition 100 million people across the world into the climate economy and build a global community of change makers. So what's unique about our approach? Climate is a big topic, and our online programs help people learn the whole landscape, from EVs to hydrogen to farming. We start out with building an understanding of climate science and impacts, but also teach how to think about the solutions in these areas and how to jump into one of them. We help our learners build a professional community and surround them with jobs and startup opportunities in the space. Now, career transitions are not easy, and we know that. That's why we've innovated a lot. Each learner gets mapped to a climate coach who's responsible for their learning and career success. We run a 6-month internship program where you get to work with Indian climate companies. And we even run a fast-paced incubator for learners who want to start climate companies, like myself. And while we love online learning, we experiment with hybrid models too when they make sense. For example, if you're part of our farm school, we take you for 2 weeks to an actual farm that uses regenerative agriculture techniques. We now have a network of such farms in the US and with the next growing season in India. And we now have learners who come from over 25 countries and are accountants, software engineers, designers, farmers, and even oil and gas workers who want to jump into the climate economy. Let's meet some of them. Anusha was a VP of marketing at an AI company. She's now head of marketing at SoFar Ocean, a company that uses weather models to predict ocean behavior for shipping and aquaculture. Dhanya works at Shell and started a new job within the company on decarbonizing steel. Sid was at Kalari, a VC firm. He's starting a new company that will scale carbon offsets in India. In fact, in the past 12 months, we've graduated more than 1,000 such incredible individuals. But I think we're building something bigger than just climate conscious individuals. So let's step back for a second. Why is this such an important approach to solving climate change? This is why. Policy and government inaction is a significant bottleneck for climate action. And our theory of change is simple. At Terra, we want to create 100 million influential voters who have an economic stake in solving the climate crisis. They, in turn, will make climate change a top political issue for every government in the world. And in the process, we want to help build a vast community of individuals who look at our relationship with our planet and its people in a new way. We're in the middle of the biggest crisis that our civilization has faced. Our generation has the opportunity and the responsibility of bringing our professional skills to bear on this problem. So take a stock of your skills today and see what role you could play in the climate economy. The time for that is now.